Hello, and welcome back to AdamBobrowConnect, the channel where you email me and we connect. So, finally found out when I will be heading out of Taiwan again and back out for some professional commentating around the world, which I'm quite excited about. While I love being home in Taiwan, I do also enjoy traveling. I guess until the quarantine policy changes, we'll see when it will be that I return, but always happy to see my family and friends around the world. Alrighty, well, let's get into the emails here. Hey Adam, I love all your channels. Always makes me look forward to the day when I see a notification of a new Bobrow video posted. We need more Adam Bobrows in the world. I've been a lifelong recreational player. I love to play regardless of opponent's skills, and it seems like there are many other closet ping pong players out there. I would love to join a table tennis club, but living in the rural Midwest USA, the nearest clubs are a solid 1.5 hours away. I will happily travel that far from time to time, but unfortunately, it isn't realistic to do so as often as I would like to. To remedy that, I've thrown the idea of starting up a club in my local area. I've even spoken with some of those clubs farther away to get their input and can tell you that the table tennis community seems to be by and large excellent people. I know you've been to who knows how many clubs across the country, so I guess what I'm wondering is if you have any tips to get a club started. I know it's a very general question, but any tips are helpful. I just want to play and to see more people in the area play. Keep up the great work. Who knows? Maybe someday if the club works out, you'll walk through the door. Thank you. Well, thank you for the question. And yeah, this is a great question that I think a lot of people would benefit from knowing more about. In terms of starting up a club, first of all, a facility is a very important thing to find. A facility that's fitting, maybe comfortable, allows for some growth, but also has a low overhead. If you want something to be sustainable, to exist long term, you need to have something that you can always afford. And if you don't own it, yes, you are at the discretion of the people that do, or the facility's managers, so to speak. If it's a government-run facility or the facility closes, then, well, you might have to find a new place, but that's usually worth it if you can find a place that's supported by the government or willing to let you play for free or for some very small fee. So there are tons of clubs throughout the LA area where I grew up. Some of them were as cheap as even $2 for a night because they were only open one night a week at a local community center. They had tables that maybe were donated. You'd be surprised. A lot of people have table tennis tables that they're not using, or maybe when their kids grew up and left for college or moved out, or, for some reason or another, they have a table that they'd love to see put to use, but they're not playing on as much as they used to. So even if you start with tables that are just so quality, having tables to play on, some space to store them, because if you're not opening a full-time table tennis club, a much easier way to go is some community park or center that has a room where you could fold up tables and store, even if it's just 2 or 3 tables. Maybe there's space for as many as 8 to 10 eventually, but it's a starting point, and I think that's one important first step. Another thing is generating interest. There's power in numbers. If you can get a list of people who've expressed an interest in not only playing table tennis, but who've said they would be interested in showing up regularly to play one night a week or 2 nights a week if there was a table tennis club at this facility that you've found, then people, especially at community centers, the people looking to open programs, the main thing that they want to do is serve the community, get people active. So I think that's what they're there to do. They're generally not for profit. So I think showing that there's interest and that people are going to be happy, the last thing they'd want to do is give you permission to use a space 3 hours a week for, let's say on a Friday night from 7 till 10 p.m. in the middle of a basketball court, knowing that people really want to play basketball, and then when they open it, there are no table tennis players showing up. So yeah, definitely try to build a bit of demand and collect emails and make sure you're in touch with people that are enthusiastic and seem committed to and or willing to play. You can even have an email list so that you can let people know, hey, we're really excited. We finally got permission to start this Friday night, 7 to 10, or Tuesday night, or whatever time, Sunday afternoon, whatever it is. is, and then you can update them. Hey, they're closed, they're having some big festival, or, just so that people don't get angry if they show up and find out that it's locked and they drove from an hour away to be there. So yeah, don't be shy about it, but do some research, look for local parks, even go visit if you want to see the space and make sure the lighting is okay, the floor is okay, it's a space that you'd like to play in and you think is reasonable. And then after that, yeah, finding tables shouldn't be too hard, might be one of the greatest costs, and yeah, a portion of the floor fees that people pay when they show up could go back to the community center if they need it. If not, it could go to getting new tables, better tables, nets, barriers, who knows? Maybe even hiring a part-time social media person to help promote and let people know, hey, we've got a club nearby. Because one thing that we've probably learned during the ages of search engines, Google and all that, is that if we have questions or issues, we're probably not the first person in history to have this issue. So looking for a local table tennis club, you are not alone. And by creating it, you'll probably be solving a problem for a lot of people and helping promote the sport and generate interest. You never know, there are probably a lot of people like you that were looking for a table tennis club, but probably tons of people who weren't, that are just looking for a hobby, a passion, something they can do indoors, something they can get into to meet people, to network. Just for so many reasons, they might find this table tennis club and say, whoa, that sounds cool. Especially if you market it well or show friendly people and positive pictures, they might think, yeah, that's an atmosphere that I want to be in. So yeah, don't just find one place, find several places. You always want to have options because you never know. If you spend 3 weeks fixated on one place and then it turns out that they can't do it, you're now 3 weeks behind. So put in some time, find as many places as you can at a distance that you think works for you, and maybe have 4 or 5 options, and really follow up with all of them so that you're secure and you get at least one. In worst case scenario, if that ever closes, you already have a relationship with the others, so you could always, reach out and reopen that conversation and maybe move to their facility if you need to. All right, I hope that's helpful. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to hit me up on Instagram, social media, and yeah, I would love to come by if I can. I'm really interested in seeing more clubs opening and getting more people to play, so we are on the same page. All right, if you have any questions, anything you want to know, anything you think I can be helpful with, please send me an email at AdamBobrowConnect@gmail.com, and hopefully I can be of service. All right, take care and keep on ponging. Peace.